Welcome back, everybody. This is gonna be the whiniest video you ever heard, and that's what's happening on Ranching Sodak. This has not moved in a week. I think we had 2.5 inches of rain on Tuesday last night. Let's see what we had this early morning. Saw a meme that says you can't pray for rain and then complain about the mud. I'm not really praying for rain anymore. I was awakened this morning at like 4. Okay. About 3/4 of an inch. And tonight we're in for some storms again. So let's get that rain talk out of the way. What we're gonna be doing, I gotta give you a little update on a few things. So I got Jinxie back together yesterday, the new water pump. Let's whine about this a little bit. Let's get all the whining out of the way. There's the water pump right in there. So I ended up having to take this stuff off, take the computer box off. You can come in from there. And then got her all on. Took a couple hours, but I got her. That water pump was $1,000. She's back in action. We got some framing done. We got the window framed up. I got that high yesterday. And then, yeah, got my door started framing. The scale should be here, I want to say on Monday. Scale bars are coming from Prime USA Scales. Hopefully we can get the rest of this carpentry work stuff done, and then we'll get them scales put in. I got my water plan figured out. We're gonna put 3/4 inch PEX from the barn with the power line cord coming over, and then I'm going to put it in a conduit right next to the concrete here. And I left a little gap between the alleyway and the chute. I'm going to dig it down, and we'll put this conduit and the PEX line in there, and I'll just cover it all up with gravel, and it'll be hidden with my sink and my water heater right over there. This water line will just be for when we're working out here. It'll be hooked to a hydrant, and I'll be able to blow it out with an air hose when I'm done every time. That's that. About a little good news. My volunteer plant is starting to bear something. I think it's a cucumber. I have a volunteer cucumber plant going, and she's looking nice. That could be the highlight of the summer right there. If I get to eat a couple cucumbers, a little vinegar and salt, that'll be so nice. All right, let's get on the 4-wheeler and we'll go open some gates and check some cows. I got some more bad news coming up here ahead. We had a lightning strike. This group of cows is like 2 miles from here right now. My plan is we'll start working some calves here maybe the end of next week, depending on how things get put together. But I'm gonna go open the gates, all the gates, to let them come back through. There's 2 pastures over here, and then this will be the half of the home place. Should migrate their way this way, and then we can run them up the rest when we're ready to work. And then what I usually do, you know, is we run them down in here and we lock them overnight behind the house there, so they're real easy to catch in the morning. But let's go and close the gate up there in the middle. Want to talk about grass and some cool stuff? So this is a pretty big hill right here where I'm standing, and I always feed on top of this hill, and we can dig down and look. It is so thick. The brome grass and the grass has all started to lodge even on top of the hills this year. And then of course in the low side hills, a bunch of big blue, that stuff is coming all. It's a really good year for big blue because it's wet and warm summer like that. It is just crazy. We had this pasture grazed down to absolutely nothing on the 20th of May. This was a complete golf course on the 20th of May, and we've left since then. And I don't know how many tons per acre there are here that have grown back. A lot. You can see the grass is so thick it can't stand anymore. There's some weeds here and sweet clover, spots where we fed a poor bale or whatever. There's a cluster of ragweed, but all that will go away. This is the big blue. I'm 5'10", so it's 5.5, almost 5'8", this cluster of big blue right here. Gives you an idea of how tall the rest of the stuff is. She's handlebar deep. So I'm out in our pasture here at home still, looking at the fence. I got a hot wire around most of it, but here's a testament to the timeless post. So these are old Gallagher insulators called the universal one. They last for a few years, and then the sun eats them up and they fall off the T-post. And that becomes a maintenance issue over time that you just continuously have to deal with. There again with the timeless post, when we run the wire through the hole, kind of like this title is, it's timeless, you're done. Here's the old 24-foot semi-flatbed off of the platypus. Going across my creek, still holding tough. Well, I normally come down here and cross, but after the rain this last week, I don't know, I watched the dogs and they were swimming out there in the middle of the current area. So I might have to go back a half a mile and come around. If you go this way, the creeks keep joining together. So this one right over there is going to join together with that one. So as we keep going west, the creeks just keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger as they finger together. If I go this way, I just have 3 or 4 different streams that I have to cross, or I got to go back out on the road to get around. I really don't want to get stuck thigh deep water. Let's make the journey around. I need to bring the cutting wheel down here and cut all this mangled mess off. It's hard to get that loop off of there. Got a creek coming here, and there's a creek up there. So 3 of them come together to get into one. But I think we can cross each one individually to get over to that other side. We'll go find out. Hello? First one's the easy one. Yeah, the dog is swimming right there, so it's... Her back feet are kind of touching, but I don't know. God dang it all. I don't know if I can get across this. Might have to go back to the road. I chickened out. Go back to the road. Got some storm damage here. Blocking the road. Well, we're gaining. That's the gate we're trying to get into. But look at this dam. For the middle of August, to have it be running over the spillway, plump full. Pretty wild stuff. Pretty wild. You guys remember the spring tank we fixed up last summer? For the most part, it's working good. I can't keep my fencer. I don't know if the calves keep knocking it off or what. Or maybe I don't have a good enough ground or something. Not even snapping on there though. What's up with that, Matt? Should go investigate. I feel like something's not hooked up. Yeah. Here's your problem, Matt. Here's my ground rod. This is supposed to be hooked onto that wire. With no ground hooked up, she's not gonna snap for you, bud. Wasn't even clicking before. I bet she works now. So how this works for you guys that didn't watch the video last summer is there's a spring piped into the side of the hill right there. And the pipe comes, it's a culvert with sand around it or P-rock around it, and then a pipe is at where the water wants to come out level under the ground, and it comes over here, and I got a float hooked to the end of it, and then I have an overflow pipe behind the float, which is higher than the tank, so then when the float shuts off, the overflow pipe comes out, and then it runs out right there. And then I got this hot fence on here. I've been struggling this summer to keep it good. Last year I had my fence right here, so I had a little more of the tank. But anyways, this keeps at least half of that side of the tank dry. And if it would ever get it to work right, which I guess my fencer wasn't hooked up right for most of the summer, is why I was having troubles. But anyway, this spot would dry up, I guess is what I'm saying. She's awful muddy right now everywhere. Obviously, water is not an issue this summer, because the creek goes through this whole thing. The creek is running right now, you know, like you saw, I mean, 1,000,000 gallons a minute or whatever. So yeah, we got plenty of water. This thing is done. This pasture here is grazed down good. We got to get out of here. We need to go home first, work the calves, and then they'll come back through here and go that way. There's more ground over that way. So got to go home a couple miles, then come back a couple miles, and they can go back into that one for the rest of the season. You zoom in there, you can see the little white rapids. I usually cross right here, but I just watched the dog go across and the dog floated down and I had to swim. It's probably 3 feet deep right there in the center. But they're all converging now. All the creeks are converging into this one. Well, we're finding some cows, but they're on the farthest end where we want them to be. Right, girls? Let's see if we can't get them bumped up and start heading. We got the wind in our favor, so they should want to go that way. The problem is there's a fair amount of old cows that knows that way is the way to the next pasture. So, but I think we'll get on the backside of here and zip around a little bit. I think we can get them bumped up and get going. They're just starting to get up from laying down this morning. So they got filled up this morning and then they all laid down to start to ruminate, you know. But now they're starting to wake up and get up and start getting on their feet again, which is good. Good time to move them. So you can see when I started this group of cattle, I drove right down the middle of them. I came right to the middle, and now I'm at the very back of them, and I'm not getting behind and following cows. I'm going sideways. You know, I always preach this, keeping my side to these cattle. Now I'm just going to drive over here. I'm going to turn around. I'm going to drive back over there. I'm just going to keep driving back and forth and just be as boring as possible for these cattle. you know, so they just forget about me and just start moving away.
Now I'll aim for that cow, kind of 10 feet behind the back of the last cow on that side. But you see all these cows are just walking away now. They're just leaving. I haven't said a word, I haven't yelled, I haven't whistled yet or nothing. I'm just back and forth.
One of the things about these bigger pastures with big coulees and trees in them, there's a tremendous amount of thickets and trees down in there that I don't want to have to go down in there and try to pull cattle out of. Bud Williams told us that the most powerful thing in the cow's mind
is a calm cow walking away with her tail swishing. It's almost like a magnet that you can't stop.
Like if I was trying to stop like this last couple cows and tell the couple cows to stay back here, you couldn't stop them. They want to go with a comfortably walking cow. But now imagine if the cows were all just running and bellowing and nervous sounding and scared. Well, that doesn't draw more cattle to that situation. You know, if you were leaving a stadium and everybody was freaking out and yelling, you would be like, okay, I got to get to safety. I'm going to go my own way and get away from the crowds, and I don't want to get trampled, you know. But if everybody's lined up for free prime rib and talking and visiting, it's like, oh, I'm going to get in that line. I'll just kind of mosey right along with them.
The same mentality with cattle. Try to keep them calm walking away. It'll just suck everybody out of them trees. And we're paired up, and we're pairing. Everything's paired, so we don't have to worry about those cows freaking out later.
Milk mustache? Let's go, bud.
So there's cattle on that side of the creek that these guys, I haven't even been over there, but as I get the group, keeping the group, I got a group up over the hill up on top, and I got this group going through the bottom here, but I haven't even been on that side of the creek. They just keep calmly coming because everybody wants to keep going that way, the way I'm pushing them. Not that old. 70-day-old calf. There's some peanuts out here though. I mean, there's some little guys.
The red ones are bigger, seems like, for the most part, but as you can see, the problem with this pasture is there's them hills on both sides of this big bottom ground. The hills just, they really graze that hill because they can keep it short and keep going after it. But then you get down in the bottom and it's just lots and lots of grass down here in the bottom. And then of course this year with the rain every 3-4 days, it never gets littered up. So they poop on it, urinate on it, and typically you might go 10 days, 2 weeks, no rain, and then they kind of sour up that ground. They don't want to eat it. Well, now you get a rain every 3 days, it just washes all that down, so they're able to just keep eating the same stuff over and over and over and over. They're not really willing to leave here, even though they should be leaving, you know, wanting to get out of this thing, but they just are still content.
Some of these cows that were on the other side of the creek now are starting to come in on this side with it. Look at my feather I found. Pretty fresh little chicken hawk feather.
Slight bit of confusion going on here. They're crossing the creek right now.
Voluntarily, they should be just following it like those, but a whole mass just voluntarily, then they're gonna have to cross it again right around the bend. But
try to have something nice. They're all right. We'll keep them moving.
Right here is where they should be going. Then they don't even have to cross it again. They can just hover along the side, but they're all going that way.
Come on, girls. I kind of got to surrender a little bit of this. They all ended up where this hook, this creek comes around each time. I'd lose more and more and more went across the other side of the creek. So now I can't cross. I'm gonna have to go way back to where I was, the very beginning, and there's a crossing there I can cross, get on that side, and I can keep pushing them through this big center part of the coulee. They hang out in there. It's all navigable, you know, they can drive a four-wheeler through there. They like to lope around in there. It's getting hot, humid, and it's getting pretty hot. It's just about noon, so I don't know. I'm gonna go try it one time. I'm gonna go around. I gotta go slow for these dogs. We gotta go back about 3/4 of a mile to get around the other side. We'll try to push these cows out a little bit. If it don't work, we'll just have to try it again tomorrow. Or they might find the gate. We'll see. Well, I made her back around, but we got a complete standstill. They're giving up on us, so I'm gonna quit.
But look at this. I found this mushroom specimen.
Chat GPT told me it is chicken of the woods mushroom and it's edible, but I'm too much of a chicken to try it. But it says you can slice it off, sponge it down or wash it down a little bit and then fry it up with some butter, but I'm a little too scared. So I think I'm just gonna go home and have a Wagyu burger and call it dinner. These old girls are,
like I say, they just hung up on me. So we're done. We'll be all right. We'll
see if some of the old ones follow me out the gate or follow the tracks tomorrow or later. Otherwise we'll just check it in the morning and see where we're at. Had to call in backup. These old Sioux pounds were getting pretty tired, so I came out the other way and she was able to come down this 2-track and pick us up, so the dogs don't have to go all the way home. We were probably 2.5-3 miles from home cross country, so
All right, well, I got the trailer unhooked for her. She's gonna go to town, but we might as well go start doing what we don't want to do. I had a cow get struck by lightning this last storm. So she's as big as a house out there, bloated up. We'll get the backhoe and we'll go out there and dig her a hole. Fun stuff. What's all that? Chances that's... Well, I gotta go grab the jumper cables out of the truck. That's a whole semi-load of hog slats right there. We unloaded last night. You can go check that out right now. I'll show you what we did.
Who's a lot more friendly weight?
Might as well put a new seat cover on this thing while we're here. What do you think? Even got the boss out here poking around a little bit. Mowing the yard is the main deal. Got a side mission. Single bar mower is a little bent up, so we got a big bar in there. Try to take the backhoe and bend on that bar a little bit. Not sure what we're doing. Well, that didn't work at all. It's too stout, but definitely still bent. You can see that this end is twisted up. You can adjust the decks on those things, raise the back end of that deck up, so this will lay down farther in the front. But I don't know, all we accomplished was dumping a bunch of clay on it. Get this puppy in road gear. Well, we're out of here. Let's go do our funeral services and move on with ourselves. It'd be easy digging after all this moisture. Well, we made her. We got a mountain goat up this hill. You see where that cow is at up on top of the hill? So I think if we drove the pickup through here before, so we'll just kind of navigate our way up and around. We got to get up to the other side of the flat over there on the top. Chickening out. I don't think I can get up this hill frontwards. I could go up backwards maybe. But frontwards, it just wants to keep lifting up my front tires. I gotta try to get turned around here. Then I think I'll back up. No, he ain't got no traction. I think we're gonna have to go around this thing. Be the safest bet. There's where we just come from. Now you get up on top of the hill and see now this whole top area levels off for the most part. There's our dead cow over there. Got a nice spot to get at anyway. Well, on the way out here along this fence, it used to be an old fence line going this way, but we've got our cross fences going east and west. But there was two rocks sticking up just high enough that you'd hit them with the pickup. So I thought, you know what, while we're here, let's do a little landscaping. Nice. I'll get you guys downwind so you can get a good whiff of her right now. Son of a gun. gonna face into the wind, and I'm just gonna dig a hole right in front of her so I don't have to sit here and smell this, because it smells like, kind of smells like rhubarb crisp, apple rhubarb crisp, you know, coming fresh out of the oven. That's what it really reminds me of, I think. I'm not sure, I can't really put my finger on it, but it's either that, it's something like that. It's either rhubarb crisp or just regular apple pie, I don't know. Anyways, let's dig a hole. Well, that's over with. That wasn't the most fun thing to do by any means. You guys go stand underneath the big tree next time there's a storm. Don't be standing out in the open. Well, hit that like button, folks. Not every YouTuber rancher out there is burying cows for you. The thumbs up button. Standard change of plans. I don't think I want to do any carpenter work tonight. We're gonna grab some salt. Got sassy pants. We'll go down to Wayne's down there. There's some 80 heifers. We'll go check them and see if how their salt's holding up and whatnot. I don't think it's gonna rain, but I said that last night and we got 3/4 of an inch, so I think I'm gonna say, looks like rain. Looks like she's gonna rain. Looks really rainy. Probably gonna get a whole bunch of rain tonight.
And you'll probably be right.
We'll see if that helps. This is kind of the favorite part of the day right here. You're doing good. We're doing good. Just pile them anywhere there, it's fine. Yeah, just help yourselves. Thank you so much. According to my meteorology, looks like we're gonna miss it. You see that circle? See, we're right kind of in the middle, right where we're right there in the middle of that circle, kinda. So usually what that means is when you're in the dead center of the projection, you're safe. Yeah, you're the eye of the storm safety. Eye of the tiger.
Hot diggity.
Eye of the tiger tonight, boys. Well, we made her down here. This is the mosquito alley down here, though. Hoofta. Always lots of bugs. They're out here somewhere. This is where they were. And with all the grass, and I don't know how long they've been out of here. Look at the regrowth, though, from being gone here for a couple weeks. And how wet it's been. It's pretty wild. What's up? What's up?
Okay.
That's what I think they say. I think that's what they say when we get here. It's like, what's up? Get them some Redmonds Salt garlic, huh? Oh, by golly, there's still a little left. Here was a whole salt block that melted down into the tub. Guys, this group really does look good. I don't know, it seems like these are a little bit bigger than the other ones, and I don't know, we just gate cut them, so, but yeah, these are looking good. These are looking good. Well, the one that was across the creek when we pulled in here, that white face, she's got a swollen hoof and a swollen foot, and then there was one other one in the back of this group that was favoring her back foot too. So the dart gun is sitting at home on the freezer next to the darts, so I'll have to bring that tomorrow now that I know they're here and come and shoot these two. But otherwise, they're all looking pretty good. These girls are pretty chill. I don't see any bad eyes. There was about 7 of them in here that had pink eye a little bit this summer, but I didn't treat any of them. They all just worked through it. So that's some warts on that one. Say thanks for tuning in. We'll catch you on the next one.
Thanks for tuning in. We'll catch you on the next one. Peace.
No, you gotta go peace first. Ready?
Peace.
No, this is peace.
Peace.
Not how. Peace.
No.
Thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you on the next one. Peace. And then we'll go into the salt. Into the salt.
Thanks for tuning in. We'll catch you on the next one. Peace.